Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating question. When you're up against a truly massive problem, is the best strategy to just build an even bigger solution? We've been looking at some amazing insights from quantum physics and, believe it or not, the commercial space race, and they both point to a powerful and kind of counterintuitive answer: go smaller.
I mean, really think about it for a second. Let's say you're trying to process a ridiculous amount of data, or maybe you're trying to compete in an industry with one giant player who dominates everything. Your first instinct is probably to scale up, right? To build something monolithic, something huge to fight back. But what if that's the exact wrong way to go?
And that's the big idea we're exploring today. The most effective way to crack some of the biggest challenges out there isn't with a single giant leap. No, it's with an ensemble of small, smart, strategic steps.
Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got the monolithic approach. One massive project, one giant machine. It's high stakes, it's all or nothing, and if one little thing goes wrong, the whole system can just collapse. But on the other side, you've got the ensemble approach. This is where you break the problem into smaller, manageable pieces that all work together in parallel. This makes the whole system way more resilient and a whole lot easier to scale. We're going to look at two completely different fields where this exact idea is leading to some huge breakthroughs.
First up, let's dive into the incredibly complex, kind of mind-bending world of quantum machine learning. It's a field that could literally change everything, but right now it's hitting some pretty serious walls.
So at the very heart of this are these things called variational quantum circuits, or VQCs for short. You can think of them as these super-powered hybrid engines that are supposed to drive quantum machine learning forward. But here's the problem. On the quantum computers we have today, which are still kind of small and pretty error-prone, these engines are just stalling out.
And researchers say these stalls come in three main flavors. First, they just don't scale well. You can't just keep making the quantum chip bigger and bigger. Second, they're incredibly difficult to train. They run into this problem called barren plateaus, which is a fancy way of saying the algorithm gets lost in a vast flat desert and has no idea which way to go to get smarter. And finally, they are super sensitive to noise, all the tiny errors that are just a fact of life in today's quantum hardware. A single big VQC is just too fragile to work the way it's supposed to.
So what was the solution from these researchers? Well, instead of trying to build one giant flawless quantum circuit, they went smaller. You can see it right here. On the left, that's the old way, the monolithic approach, cramming all the data into one big chip. But check out the right side. That's their breakthrough. They split the data up and sent it to an ensemble of smaller, independent chips, all working on the problem in parallel. And the results were, well, they were stunning. This multi-chip approach didn't just fix one issue, it fixed all of them at once. All of a sudden, it was scalable, because you can just add more small chips. It was way easier to train, goodbye barren plateaus. It got better at generalizing to new data, and crucially, it was so much more resilient to noise, since one little error on one chip didn't take down the whole operation. Thinking small completely solved the big problem.
Okay, so take that idea, that ensemble idea, and hold on to it, because we are about to make a giant leap from the tiniest particles in the quantum realm all the way up to the new commercial space race, where the exact same principle is playing out on a cosmic scale.
When you think about commercial space today, one big name probably comes to mind, right? SpaceX. And for a while, it seemed like the only way to compete was to build bigger and bigger rockets. But there's another company, Rocket Lab, that's making some serious waves by taking a totally different, ensemble-based approach to their business.
And people are definitely taking notice. Analysts like Ryan Kuntz at Needham are calling Rocket Lab a disruptive company, not just because of their rockets, but because of their entire business model. They're changing the rules of the game.
So what is this game-changing strategy? You guessed it, it's an ensemble. Instead of betting the whole farm on one giant rocket to go head-to-head with SpaceX's Falcon 9, they've built a whole portfolio of capabilities. They have their proven smaller Electron rocket, they have a whole separate booming business building satellite components for other companies, and they're vertically integrated, which means they control their own supply chain. It's a collection of smaller, powerful parts that all support each other.
And the proof is right there in the results. Just look at this list of prime contractors for a major contract with the U.S. Space Development Agency. You've got the Titans, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and right there with them is Rocket Lab. Their ensemble strategy didn't just help them survive, it's earned them a seat right at the big table.
So you've got quantum scientists breaking up circuits on one hand, and a rocket company building a portfolio of services on the other. I mean, they seem like they're worlds apart, right? But what's so incredible is that they are following the exact same playbook. Let's put their challenges side by side. In the quantum world, a single monolithic circuit is a single point of failure. It's noisy, it's fragile, and in the space industry, well, relying on a single monolithic launch company creates its own kind of fragility. It creates bottlenecks and risk for everyone else. See the pattern? In both cases, the root problem is the weakness of a monolithic system.
And for both of them, the solution is this Ensemble playbook. Step 1, you take the big, scary problem and you deconstruct it. Step 2, you distribute the work out to smaller, independent units, whether we're talking about quantum chips or different business divisions. Step 3, you let them all work in parallel. And finally, you bring all their results together for an outcome that is way more robust, scalable, and resilient than anything that one giant unit could have ever produced on its own.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Why does this matter beyond quantum labs and rocket launch pads? Well, it points to a really fundamental shift in how we should think about innovation and problem solving.
The lesson here is incredibly clear and really powerful. Whether you're dealing with the tiniest building blocks of reality or the biggest machines we've ever built, the best path forward might not be to build one single perfect giant thing. Instead, the future might just belong to those who can build a smart, resilient, and powerful ensemble of smaller parts.
And that brings me to one last thought I want to leave you with. Think about the really huge, messy challenges we're all facing today. Climate change, global supply chains, public health. What if the solution to these massive monolithic problems isn't some single silver bullet fix? What other giant challenge out there is just waiting to be solved if we only stop trying to go bigger and started thinking a whole lot smaller?